Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Well, today in the Bible Bistro and all this week, we're going to look at Psalm 84. Psalm 84, and I've entitled this psalm, In the Temple. This is just a lovely psalm. And it's wonderful because it just delights the heart to think about the goodness of God and His nearness to us. Now, we're going to look at this introduction today because we have a switch. We've been having psalms that were written by Asaph from 73 all the way to 83. Now we come to 84, and we have a psalm that's written by the sons of Korah. So this introduction says, of the choir master, upon the crieth, of the sons of Korah, a psalm. So the choir master is still doing his job. He's looking over things for us. And this crieth is the last time we're going to see this. We've seen it in Psalm 8, Psalm 81, here in Psalm 84. We're not really sure what the crieth is. Probably a tune name. And then of the sons of Korah, we have seen this before as well. This, what I'm about to read to you, comes from Derek Kidner's commentary. He says there are 12 Psalms, 42 through 49, 84, and 87. They're all ascribed to the sons of Korah. Korah is a part of that rebellious group that went up against Moses and were destroyed. You remember the earth opened up and swallowed them. So it was Korah and Dathan, Abiram. And they were all destroyed except for the sons of Korah. Sons of Korah were allowed to live. His children were spared. And so these are, and Korah was of the Levitical line, so his sons also were of the Levitical line. And they became doorkeepers and guardians and temple people and porters in the temple and musicians as well and singers in the temple later on. And so these fellows, the sons of Korah, we could call them a choir. We could call them an association of musicians. Perhaps this is a name that was just passed down and became the name of some group, not necessarily all of them related to Korah. Or it could be that all of the sons of Korah existed up until the temple period, and they formed a group of singers and maybe a little choir, and they wrote some music. And this is one of those tunes that they wrote. Now, let me just stop right there and say something about these introductions. It occurred to me again because I have a translation that I read that I really love, but they never give the introductions, ever. Never give the introductions. And I think it's a shame because there's so much information, biblical background information in the introductions that help us really kind of casts light on the psalm itself. Sometimes gives us a historical event, and then we understand from where the psalm is coming, how it was written, why it was written perhaps, by whom it was written, the situation in which it was written, maybe the emotions that were being felt at the time. Because poetry is so, it's so laced with emotion, which is one of the reasons why we love it so much. And as I said at the beginning, this is in the temple, and it's just lovely. It's, there's no enemy present here, really. It's just all about God and His nearness and about the blessing. Their blessing is used 3 times in this psalm. So the sons of Korah are thinking perhaps about, their work in the temple. And this one fellow, or maybe a group of them, were just overwhelmed with all the goodness of God that they see in the temple. And so they write this particular psalm. Now, let me read for us the first 2 verses, and then I'll close out for today. How amiable are thy tabernacles, O Lord of hosts! My soul longs, yea, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Now, you read the introduction there, upon crieth, of the sons of Korah, a psalm. And you think to yourself, well, we know that these guys were musicians in the temple. They were porters and they were doorkeepers and so forth. why not have this written by them? You can see why someone of their group might write these words, because they love what they do. They've been called to what they do. They have been equipped by the Spirit of God for what they do. And so they write these words, "How amiable are thy tabernacles! My soul and my flesh cry out for the living God." Yeah, so we understand that's why these introductions are so important, because they give us just a little background. Sometimes we don't have an introduction at all. It doesn't appear. And so those are the orphanic psalms, or there may be it's nothing more than a psalm. That's the introduction. So not a whole lot there. But when we do have an introduction, it's so important to be able to read the introduction, understand maybe if there's any history or biblical background here that we need, because it always seems to cast light on the psalm itself. All right, well, tomorrow we're going to look at verses 3 and 4, and I'll come back and I'll fold in verses 1 and 2 with 3 and 4 tomorrow. So I hope you'll join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.